Hello and what's up, guys? It's Tikosor, and I hope you are all doing very great. So we are back again with the Legion Go. If you remember in the last video, we were trying out this horizontal adapter in order to install it on this modded back cover. If you remember, we've been trying to get a 2280 SSD drive in this exterior enclosure for this modded cover. When you connect this adapter in the interior part, it can give you a horizontal slot for the SSD drive to the outside and then connect a 2280 SSD drive. So if you remember, in the last video, we were trying out this adapter and it was faulty. So I tried it out with the original SSD drive that comes with the Legion Go, as well as with two SSD drives, with this one Gen 4 and another one which is a Gen 3, and they both didn't work. So that came to me that this adapter is actually faulty. Now, good thing that I bought it from AliExpress, and even though I bought it like few months ago and I never tried it before, but I showed to them video of it and tried my best to explain the issue. They refunded me for the whole price of this adapter. I never tried it on until we saw it together. So I thank AliExpress for their kindness of refunding me of this purchase that wasn't useful to me. So for that sake, I got actually another adapter, this one from a different vendor this time, but still from AliExpress. Okay, so this one doesn't come with a screw like the other one. It seems the same version, 9th November 2023 V5, so the same identical version as that one. Just to show you guys, to me there seems to be a difference because I can see that this one has sort of discoloration in this part, in this cable, in this ribbon cable area, while you can see this one has a lighter connections. I'm not sure if it was a process issue, but now I can at least distinguish which one is which. So this one is the new, obviously, and this one is the old one, the faulty one. So we are going to see if it's going to work. So first of all, we're going to remove the controllers. I got some comments on the previous video of people saying that maybe the SSD drives that I used, which is Gen 4, has caused that adapter to get damaged. So for that sake, the SSD drive that I'm going to try out first is going to be the original Legion Go SSD. So I'm going to try it with this adapter in order to make sure we are not going to damage it with any third-party SSD drive. First, we'll connect the adapter and make sure it's fully connected. Okay, it's in, fully connected. Now I'm going to use the original SSD drive as I said, in order to make sure we are not actually damaging it. Okay, now that we connected everything, we have the adapter connected to the SSD. I connected my Legion Go because it was almost out of charge, so I just thought it won't shut down. Now let's turn it on. Oh wow, guys, it's working. So NVMe SSD is actually showing the model name, Western Digital PCSN 740, which is the original SSD drive of the Legion Go, 512 gigabyte. So it's able to recognize it just fine. So that's confirmed that this adapter is actually working. It worked very well with the original SSD drive of the Legion Go. Now, what is more important that it's going to work with this 2280 SSD drive, Gen 4 NVMe. So here I applied copper graphene heatsink in order to provide a better cooling to the drive because the area is actually very limited in the enclosure, so we cannot do much. Okay, so here I have this end on the exterior part. Now, if I close it, so this part is going to show. Now I install the SSD drive. Okay. As you can see here, we have very limited space, so that's why I couldn't apply like thermal pad or anything. I just ended up using this graphene on top of it to provide some cooling, and we'll just close it now. As you can see, I managed to get it in. However, here space is very limited if you want to close this enclosure. So there isn't like a screw hole or something. You just close it using, there are some plastic parts that gets in. So it's very hard to get it closed. If you have a lot of increased height, it's meant to work without any heat sink. Now we can try to see if it's actually working. So as you can see now, it's working with this SSD drive 2280. We can see NVMe SSD is Samsung S770 1 terabyte, and this one is actually a Gen 4. So as you can see, this time this adapter is actually working flawlessly. Now the time has come to actually check out thermals for this modded back cover along with SSD drive to see if it's actually going to be good enough if we use this modded back cover. So now we'll get on finally to this part where we actually test its performance. So I would like to say that I'm very happy now that's actually finally working. You can also use the original SSD drive of the Legion Go 2242. However, in this case, we'll need to remove this heatsink. So due to clearance issues, it wouldn't work otherwise with the heatsink applied. So you can also place it like this, for example, and if you would like to have it on the exterior part, perhaps it may reduce temperatures a little bit instead of having it in the internal part. So having it on the exterior part, like in this enclosure, it may reduce temperatures a little bit. And actually, I do have another SSD also, WD Black SN850X by Western Digital, 1 terabyte. It's also Gen 4. I'm not sure if I should try this one for benchmarks instead of this one, Samsung. Both of them have worked as we have seen, like on BIOS. This one now shows up, the Samsung. However, I think that the majority of people are going maybe to use WD Black more than this one. So maybe this will give you more insights about it. So that's why I'm going to benchmark it instead of that Samsung in terms of temperatures. So we're going to install it here. Here on the bottom, you can see that this one doesn't have any memory on the other side. It has everything here on top since it's 1 terabyte. So and it will close perfectly fine, no issues at all. It would close, and even if you try to make it fall, it wouldn't. So in terms of clearance, it worked very well. Now, in addition to benchmark it in this way, I'm going to try it also with this cooler by JSAUX that I've reviewed some time ago. You can check out the review in the linked video here. I'm going to try it with this modded cover as well to check out temperatures of CPU, GPU, and also, most importantly, SSD in this case. The first thing I noticed when looking at the interface speed is that the connection is running at Gen 1, even though this drive supports Gen 4, and so does the Legion Go slot. Reading the description of this adapter on AliExpress, the seller states that it's Gen 3, so I'm not sure why it's showing Gen 1 for me, but let's go along with it. Now, here we are in Crystal Disk Mark to check out performance and thermals. Before starting, I want to note that I have the latest Legion Go BIOS as of this date, N37, and my settings in Legion Space are set to max TDP and fan speed. As we can see from test results, the drive is indeed maxing out at Gen 1 speeds for both reading and writing. It's not going beyond 450 MB. However, given the slower than normal speeds, we have the benefit of much lower temperatures for it. The max it reached is 53 degrees Celsius. Even checking the exterior temperature confirms it's indeed 53 degrees. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I tried with the JSAUX docking station cooler. Naturally, we got the same speed, but temperature significantly dropped by 10 degrees, getting to 43 degrees Celsius. And the thermal image shows a much lower temperature on the back. There is much less heat across the board, and the SSD exterior temperature is now showing 32 degrees. Sure, I'm happy about the temperature we got, but speeds are rather too disappointing, so I wanted to confirm whether something was wrong with my Legion Go drive slot that could be causing Gen 1 speeds, but when I connected the drive directly to the slot, it gave me full Gen 4 speeds, and that was quite a relief. However, this time temperatures were over the top, reaching 87 degrees as you can see, which is dangerously hot and would easily shorten lifespan of the drive. Now, out of curiosity, I tried the 2280 vertical adapter that fits in the interior but still allows 2280 drive to go in. Surprisingly, that one also gave me full Gen 4 speeds. So, that leaves the green adapter as the one causing those limitations. Finally, to debug this issue further, I tested the original Legion Go SSD. Even that drive only reached Gen 1 speeds with this green adapter. And even with the cooler, temperatures were slightly higher with this one, reaching 56 degrees compared to what we got on WD Black SN850X. Now, how about we try performance in a real-world scenario? Here I'm using the WD Black SN850X in Cyberpunk game loading. It didn't take longer than 11 seconds, which feels almost equivalent to a Gen 3 or even Gen 4 speeds to me. It didn't feel slow at all during texture loading or areas as I drive in. It felt just like the usual experience on the Legion Go. We can see that disk activity isn't even going above 20%, and temperatures overall remains good. The SSD runs super cool. The other components also benefit from the airflow thanks to the JSAUX cooler. At the end of the day, this combination isn't entirely bad. Perhaps my adapter may be again faulty, running at Gen 1 speeds, or perhaps it's just like this for everyone. Not sure, but that's it for this modding experiment, guys. I hope this was useful for you to know what to expect out from this adapter, modded back cover, and JSAUX cooler. Honestly, this docking station cooler by JSAUX is easily the best docking station to get for any handheld, offering the latest ports with all exceptional cooling performance. So I recommend you check it out if you would like in this dedicated video here. Now finally, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Legion Go and handheld related content. And don't forget to leave a comment below about your current Legion Go setup or any questions you have. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next one.